Hey guys, it's Adrian over BHA here, bringing you another updated video. This one involves Google Assistant. The previous version of this video had become fairly popular, at least on my YouTube channel. A lot of people like it. Google Assistant is really difficult to kind of set up and be able to sync it with Home Assistant. They keep changing the way you do stuff and all that, so I thought it was time to go ahead and do an updated version of this video, and honestly it seems like it's a little easier now to set up than it was before. Hopefully this video can get you on track. If you guys are having problems setting up Google Assistant, like I said, this should go a little bit smoother. Here we go. Let's do a quick run through of everything we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to start by creating a new project in the developer console. Once we do that, we just need to get our project ID, just so we have that for adding in the component. Once we have our project ID, we're going to add the Google Assistant component to HA. Once we've restarted Home Assistant, we will then add the test project that we created into the Google Assistant app on our phone. And then lastly, we'll just kind of see what that looks like in action. So let's get started. And I'll put the link down in the description so you can just copy and paste it. But basically you're going to go into the developer console, logging in with your Google account, of course. We're going to click on Add Import Project. We're going to go ahead and give it a project name. So I'm just going to call mine has-test. You can call it whatever you want. Then where it says Smart Home, we're going to click on Build. And this is where you're going to enter your Home Assistant URL. One of the prerequisites needed for this to work properly is that your Home Assistant configuration is publicly accessible or externally accessible. And of course, you're obviously, if you set that up, you're going to want to have it set up with an SSL certificate. So you put in the URL to your Home Assistant configuration, and that'll be /API/Google_Assistant. And we'll say done. We're going to click on Overview. And then of course we got to go through and fill out all this information, which is kind of a pain because you don't really need any of it, but a lot of it's required in order for you to set it up. So we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to go ahead and call it has-test. That's kind of what I've already called everything else anyway. Hit next. Like I said, it's going to make you plug something into all these, so I'm just going to, home automation, basically anything just to fill in all these fields. Hit next again. I thought I could get past the images, but I don't know if it's going to let me or not. Let's see. Maybe it will. Alright, try it. Developer name says it's optional. I have a feeling it's not. Next. Let's see. Privacy policy. We'll try to skip past that. Alright, let's go down here and see if we can save and kind of continue on here. Nope, it's going to make me put the images in. So, put in whatever images you want. I'm just going to find something that I can stick in here. See if I can't drag something over here. Alright, I've got something in there. I don't know if it has to fit the screen. We'll go ahead. guess we're going to add a small image. Do the same thing here. All right, let's try that again. Privacy policy. All right, so it's going to make me put in a URL for the privacy policy as well. We'll just use Home Assistant's webpage, so home-assistant.io. And let's see if that'll take. I think that did it. All right. So let's go back. We're going to click on account linking. Say add. And we're going to change the grant type to be implicit. Say next. Alright, so we got to give it a client ID. You want it to be long. This is basically your password and stuff for Google Assistant to access Home Assistant. So you're going to want it to be long and secure. I'll type that in here. And then, of course, the authorization URL. This is the URL it's going to use to access Home Assistant with. So it'll be the URL to your Home Assistant box /API /Google_Assistant/auth. Obviously, if you have a API key set up, which you should, then we're going to put. And then, of course, let's see, it'll be API_password equals, and then whatever your API key is. Scopes, we just need one set up for email. And then we need a second one set up for name. Go ahead and say next. I think we have to type something in here. We're again just going to type in home automation. Go ahead and hit save. Now we can hit test draft. Alright, so at that point, I think we're set up with our project. We're ready to move on to the next step. In order to add the component into Home Assistant, we need the project ID. So to get the project ID, we're going to go over here. We're going to hit the little wheel for settings, go to project settings. And then, of course, it lists your project, and there is my project ID. So I'm just going to copy that, write it down, save it for later. Alright, so let's add the component into Home Assistant. We're going to do that by editing our configuration.yaml file. I'm going to find an open spot down here at the bottom. Obviously, the name of the component is Google_Assistant. Project ID is, of course, the one that we just found. Client ID will be the client ID that I created earlier, and obviously I'm storing all mine in my secrets.yaml file here, so access token is just another long passkey that we need to have. Honestly, I'm not really sure why, because I don't reference it anywhere in the developer project, but Home Assistant says that it's required, so we're just going to go ahead and create another long password. Again, I have mine saved in my secrets.yaml file. Now, I'm not going to expose all of my domains to Google Assistant, especially not for this test. For this tutorial, I'm just going to add switch and light domains. Once I have those in there, we're going to go ahead and save it. And of course, restart Home Assistant for the changes to take effect. Give that a second to come back up. Alright, let's go ahead and add our test project into the Google Assistant app on my phone. So we do that by going into the settings up here. We're going to scroll down to a section that says Home Control. From here, we're going to hit Add Smart Devices, and you should see your test right at the top, which I do. Go ahead and click on that and give it a second to authorize itself. It should start pulling in all the different devices that I have as part of my switch and light domains, and it did. Now from here, you can choose to go ahead and edit them and add them to rooms. I'm not going to do that for right now. I'm just going to say OK. Got it. That's it. It is added into our Google Assistant app. Lastly, let's go ahead and see what that looks like in action. So over here on my left side, I have my Home Assistant web front end. On the right side, I have the Google Assistant app pulled up. Obviously for this tutorial, I'm just going to try it out. So we're going to say turn on dining room lights. Now, you can speak that into Google Assistant if you want. I'm just typing it for this tutorial. It should come back. And look, it even already had them turned on before I even got a response back from her. You got it, turning on the dining room lights. Let's turn them off. And it turned them right back off. So as you can see, they're synced together. Everything is working properly as it should between Google Assistant and Home Assistant. That is the end of this video, guys. Let's do another quick run through of everything we covered in this video. So we started by creating our project in the developer console. Once we did that, we just made note of our project ID because we needed that to add the component into Home Assistant. Then, of course, we were able to add our Google Assistant component into Home Assistant. Once we did that and restarted HA, we were then able to add the test project into our Google Assistant app. And then, of course, lastly, I showed you what that looked like in action. Like I said, I think this one is even easier than the previous version of this video. A lot less steps, to be honest with you. Alright guys, I hope this video helped get you set up with Google Assistant. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. And as always, if there are any videos out there that you'd like to see that I don't already have out there, let me know and I'll see if I can't get something put together for you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around. Thanks!